saw the city passing by my window. Was in the crowd, but I felt so alone.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally getting back out into the garden and doing some spring cleaning. We've had a few really nice days in a row and I'm taking full advantage of that. Now I live in Canada, USDA Zone 5B, and around this time of year in early spring is when it finally makes sense to clean things up a bit. The ground isn't frozen anymore and some of the perennials are finally waking up. This is a great time to prune, tidy up beds, and start setting the stage for planting. Today I'm starting off by cleaning up my chives. If you missed my last garden vlog, I emptied my green stock into my raised beds and this was growing in my green stock, so I moved it over here to this wall display. I love this container system because it hangs out of the way and I usually fill it with herbs because this is right beside my kitchen. We bought this system about 5 years ago at Home Depot and I really want another one to hang beside it like a living wall of flowers and herbs. I planted this thyme last season and as you can see it's definitely seen better days. It didn't make it through the winter too well, so I'm clearing it out to make space for something fresh. Thyme is a hardy perennial, but sometimes in my zone 5-6 they just don't bounce back depending on how harsh the winter was. In my last video, I also pulled some strawberry plants out of my green stock and temporarily stashed them in a plastic container. Now, if you haven't seen my last video by now, you really should go back and take a look at it and come right back, we'll still be waiting for you. Now, I couldn't leave them in the container for too long, so I'm tucking them into this bed for now, just as a holding place until I get the green stock set up again with fresh soil. These are a mix of Seascape and Mignonette strawberries I grew last year. They're pretty resilient, so as long as the roots stay moist and they get some sun, they'll bounce back. And this year I started some Freshka strawberries from seed to add to the collection. I even have a video on my page showing the whole process. I'm going to be laying down some paver stones along the new garden edge I built around the raised beds. I wanted to create a clear divide between the sections, especially since I added pine bark nuggets around the beds and there's grass on the other side. This way it looks more finished and it helps keep everything in its place, no mulch spilling into the lawn and no grass creeping into the garden.
Oh, but then you came and sat right next to me. Your eyes, they glowed and filled me up. We had never met before that time, but I just knew that we'd end up. You took away my loneliness.
Now I'm moving on to pruning my roses. This one is the Olivia Rose Austin, and spring is a perfect time to give roses a good trim, especially once the buds start to swell and the weather begins to warm up. I'm pruning this one back quite a bit to encourage strong new growth and a fuller shape. It might look a little bare now, but it's all worth it when it puts on a show like this. Even though I've been getting some really nice weather lately, I am still expecting the temperatures to dip below freezing. And if you're wondering about pruning before the last frost, don't worry. Roses are pretty tough and a light frost after pruning might slow them down a little, but it won't harm the plant. They'll bounce right back once the weather settles. While I'm here, I'm also going to clean up this clematis by Proven Winners. It's called Viva Polonia. Next, I'm tackling these echinacea stalks from last summer. I like to leave them standing throughout the winter to give beneficial bugs a place to hide and to feed. It's a simple way to support the garden's ecosystem. Now this echinacea was started from seed over 3 years ago, and every year it comes back with these bold, vibrant blooms. This right here is proof that you don't need a lot of money to start a garden. For just a few pennies, you can grow a flower like this in your own space and it'll keep showing up year after year. Next, I'm quickly clearing out the dried stalks from my Serendipity allium. This one's from Proven Winners. It adds such a fun pop of color and texture when it's in bloom, but these dried bits have to go. Then I'm moving on to my lemon and lace elderberry. I'm just trimming off some of the dead pieces. I moved this plant to this corner last season, and honestly, it's not loving it. I'm not sure if it's the light or the soil, but it might need a better spot. Here's the plant tag in case you're wondering what it looks like in its prime. But I did notice some little purple buds starting to pop out, so it might still surprise me. So now I'm over on the other side of the garden by my dogwood, removing these solar lights I put up for Christmas. This was definitely a mistake that I will never repeat. I thought it would look pretty at night and add a little magic to the garden, but honestly, it's been a pain to take down. I was actually hesitant about adding dogwood to my garden in the first place. This was supposed to be a dwarf variety, and I figured I had room, but now look at it. Still no regrets because I loved using the branches for my porch winter display. And when my friend told me they were selling dogwood branches at the garden center for $15, I instantly felt like I made the right call. I'm pruning this lemon meringue baptisia that I picked up on clearance for $10 last fall at the garden center. Honestly, a lot of the plants in this bed were either clearance finds or I started them from seed. That's kind of how I built this garden, one deal at a time. $10. Of course, I'm at the garden center looking at clearance deals. $10. It's just crazy, some of the deals. And now it's time for the Rose of Sharon. I moved this one to this spot in the fall, and so far it's looking pretty good. I'm just double checking the plant tag to make sure it's safe to prune it now, and it looks like we're good to go. I'm doing a fairly heavy prune on this one. Some of the branches were growing inward or crossing over each other, and I also found a few dead ones. So I'm cleaning it up to help it grow nice and full this season. Now, Rose of Sharon blooms on new wood, so early spring is actually the perfect time to prune. I always aim to remove any dead, damaged, or crowded branches to keep the shape open and let air and light get through. Now that most of the plants have been cleaned up, I'm giving the garden bed a light rake just to get a better view of what's going on and spot anything I might have missed. I've got a lot of daffodils coming up in this bed, and I'm pretty sure I accidentally damaged a few while I was cleaning. It happens sometimes. I'm still leaving some leaves and twigs on the ground though. I know the birds will be by soon, and they love using this stuff for their nests. Plus, I'm tidying up just enough because I'll be planting out some of my cold-loving seedlings soon, and I need to see where they'll go. It may look like nothing now, but this is a quick view of what my cottage garden looks like when it comes to life in the spring and in the summer. Thanks so much for watching my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video and get a chance to get outside into your garden soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. See you next time.